Waiting to connect. I can still hear the music. I can hear the music. All right, so I have Dr. Aluya in the studio. I think we're ready to go. All right, so good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you can hear me, and I hope we are live. My name is Regina, and welcome once again to Office of the Citizen. It's been a busy January. It's been a very busy January, and like we say, like always say, if it's important to you, you'll make time. You all are important to us, and we have to make time to sit and discuss in the Office of the Citizen. Thank you for taking time out to spend with me this morning, okay? So in January, we had the inauguration. Finally, Biden was sworn into office despite all the hula baloo. And his progress so far, we are thankful to God about, because much more than we can say for the Nigerian presidency, President Biden has employed so many people, a lot more people from south of Nigeria than have been employed in Nigeria. Isn't that something to be grateful about? We are very proud of that. And we are thankful to the American presidency for recognizing the color or the composition of the state of the nation of America and building his cabinet to reflect that composition. Okay, this is inclusivity. This is being considerate of the cultures that make up the state of the nation, and we are grateful that we are being represented in there. Okay, so this January also I did a movie. This movie has kind of caught fire because of the scenes that we had to do in the movie. I am grateful that I had that opportunity, but I'm not sure it's something I want to do again because it was very demanding, and the kids today are keeping it real. They are not faking a funk like we used to do back in the day, and this is a little bit edgy for me, and I look forward to seeing what they will be able to make out of that movie, and I would like to encourage all of you to watch it, okay? So we're going to be talking about the media today. We're going to be talking about money, and we're going to be talking about, you know, key things that a people, a race, a culture need to have to be able to establish themselves. And of course, part of talking about money, we'll be talking about the new rave in town, Bitcoin. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about Bitcoin. And after this morning's discussion with Dr. Nelson Aluya, a regular in-house doctor, we will talk with somebody from Akwa Ibom, Franklin Isong, who will take us through the happenings in Akwa Ibom State pre-COVID and post-COVID. Okay, so without taking too much of your time, let us jump into our conversation on money this morning with Dr. Nelson Aluya. Dr. Nelson Aluya, you are welcome to Office of the Citizen. Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you to be on your show once again. This time around, not talking about COVID and
But,
how.
but I still have COVID questions. I still have COVID questions because the literature and everything keeps changing. The research
I,
and the
I
literature keeps
know.
changing on the COVID. But then today is about establishing ourselves as a people and as a culture. So the rave in town now is Bitcoin. So
Mm,
you and I had a conversation that really struck me, and I want us to kind of repeat that conversation. That conversation, basically, I'll call 3 M's. Okay. So I want you to talk to me about the 3 M's. We started out by talking about how we could, pull us up resources together to be more impactful and more powerful as Africans in the diaspora and as Africans, back home. So let's talk about the 3 M's and how we can empower ourselves as a people.
Great. Well, thank you once again for inviting me. Like I said a few minutes ago, we're not talking about COVID because the last time I was here, I was recovering from having been infected in COVID. That was in late March and early April.
Yeah.
But at this time around, you and I understand what COVID has done to the world.
Yes.
He has devastated almost everything, upturned everything,
Mm-hmm.
and right now you and I are talking, on a media rather than face to face, which ideally would have been doing if it wasn't for COVID. But then, out of every bad turn comes some good outcome, and after every good outcome, sometimes have some bad outcomes as well. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we have the conversation, but I'll tell you this: the reason why I'm saying this with COVID is because five of them would control how you and I will interact with one another and with the environment that we live in. The first one
Yeah.
is artificial intelligence. The
Yeah.
second one is the 5G technology. The third one is blockchain technology. And the
Mm-hmm.
fourth one is cryptocurrency that comes out of blockchain. And the fifth one is the mRNA technology. So all of those five components are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. And we as a people, what I mean me as a people, as black people, must learn to embrace technology and understand that technology was what was used to conquer, subjugate, and colonize Africa, and technology again will liberate Africa. And if we embrace technology, that's the only way we must find a way to come out of the quagmire, the conundrum that we've been placed for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming to what we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
I called it the three M's of racial dominance. That for any race to be able to
Yeah.
dominate, you must control those three M's.
Yes.
But for the African, I put it a fourth M. There's a fourth M, and I'll talk to you about it.
Yes.
First M is money.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is military. The third one is media. Now, if you control all three, you will dominate as a race. Now, money we don't have because we've been shut out of it for centuries.
Yeah.
Even if we invented the trade, when the trade by barter and all that came up. But then again, like they said, they used technology, they subjugated everybody, and we became irrelevant. Because the only way you can make a dominating force to change is to create something new that will
Yeah.
make the old force irrelevant. Now, money we don't have because you need money as well to buy the military. And if you don't have money, you can buy the military. And then the third one is the third M, which is media. And you need money to either buy or control the military,
Yeah.
to control media. Now we see what China is doing. They've become a dominating force out of what came out of on almost insignificant China in the 80s, 70s, 80s. But look at where they are today.
Yes.
Why? So what did they first do? They went after the money.
Yes.
They dominated money. And with money, they bought the military. And you see what's going on right now. They're
Yes.
going to space. They're doing all that stuff. What are they trying to do now? To control the media with the money that they have.
Yes.
TikTok, we see Huawei, you see all of those things. And why do you think the whole controversy and big fight over 5G? These are all the things that are coming up. And look, as we as Black people, if we think we want to come out of the um, economic, social, ethnic, political enslavement that we've been on, we must begin to embrace technology. Technology is not the enemy.
Okay. So,
It's the
so
pathway to freedom.
Okay, so talk to us about money. Military, we don't have. Even the headsmen, they are using AK-47 to level everybody in Nigeria. We don't have military might. We cannot even start talking about displaying or owning anything. So military is out of the question. So let's start with money and then talk about media. We're doing well in media. And the sad thing is that if we don't have money, we're not going to grow in media. But
Yep.
let's talk about money first. The rave of the moment is Bitcoin. I remember when somebody was trying to give me Bitcoin to pay me with Bitcoins, and I said, no, 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 this is funny money. This is internet money. It's going to disappear as soon as I turn around. Today, I want to kick myself because one Bitcoin is about, last time we talked, it was like 35,000. Today, was it 3,500 or 35,000?
5,000. Today is about 37,000 plus.
37. There you go. So I feel so bad that I did not accept that Bitcoin. But then we don't really understand what Bitcoin is about. This is internet currency. They pay you with a code, right? Can you explain to us what Bitcoin is about? Like, if I want to sell something to you, you pay me with a code. What do I do with that code? How do I translate that code to money in my account? Or that never happens?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Mhm.
We all missed out on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Even I myself, as at that time, I was just busy pursuing, my academics and become a doctor and doing all those great things and saving lives, which I still do, and I enjoy doing.
Mm.
Nevertheless, but as president of Nigeria American Public Affairs Committee, which we're creating the platform where we want to identify, support, encourage, and mentor young, talented, or any Nigerian and friends of Nigeria who has the capacity to rule or to lead, and the trust upon which they lead. Here, we've done that here in the United States. If you want to check us out, check us at napacUSA.org and see what we've done. Lately, we've brought up a lot of Nigerians who have done phenomenal job in political space here in the United States, and that's what NAPAC has done. And that pushed me on to reevaluating things around me and seeing how we as a people would advance our cause, not just for Nigerian Americans, but for Nigerians back home as well, but for entire Africa. Because look, Nigeria leads, and where Nigeria leads, others will follow. And I must say this before I go into the subject of the question you talked about, that no black man on earth will be respected until the African is respected, period. Whether you're Japanese black, Brazilian black, Caribbean black, Jewish black, Canadian black, or American black. If they do not respect the African, they will never respect you because they'll always look at you through the periscope of an African, period. And for Africa to move forward, Nigeria has to take the lead. Some people may doubt that, but it's a fact. We have the statistics and all the things we do. Um, and those in diaspora has a huge role to play in this respect, and that's why we came together here, and all the other bodies here to see what we can do to drive the narrative here, bring Nigerians into uh, positions of power and policies so that we can drive Africa in the right direction for
Okay.
growth for everybody.
Oh,
Now, coming to money. Now, Bitcoin
yes.
was created out of the technology, one of the technologies that I talked about that would
Blockchain.
control how we represent with the blockchain technology.
Yeah.
And now people have always asked, what blockchain?
Yeah.
Blockchain, they call it a ledger, but I say for the common man to understand, it's a big blackboard uh, where you and I can write something. You go on, you confirm. If I say my name is Aluya, Aluya, I put it up there. You confirm it. I confirm it. Everybody confirms it. And once it's written forever. Nobody can change it. And it's open. Everybody can see it. Nobody owns the blackboard. And because of that, when you and I and everybody verify it and know that it's true and it's put there and it's immutable, meaning it cannot be removed, then we can trust it. So it creates a platform of trust. So if you and I begin to do business in that platform, then I can trust the platform upon which we're doing business. I can trust you because whatever I find that you put in there is true. Now, blockchain has been used on a number of places in the sense that in medical field, we see what's happening when people hack into hospitals and hold them ransom for money and they have to pay. We see what's happening, even in the movie industry, Hollywood, where they used to hack movies before movies coming out next year. You see
It's
it on
been
the streets of
pirated.
New York. Right, it's
Yeah.
pirate. But you don't see that anymore because these guys got smarter and they're trying to write this thing and get it encrypted. And that's what the encryption, meaning secret,
Okay.
is written in such codes that is unbreakable. So nobody can break it, nobody can hack into it, nobody's been able to do that, and that's the
Okay.
trust that so Bitcoin came out of that technology,
Oh,
and it was new. A lot of people didn't understand it. We missed out. I missed out as well,
mhm.
and but we see what's happening right now, and it's growing. Now the question is, in another 2 to 3 years, Bitcoin will control 10.6% of the global economy or the global GDP. Right now, I think it's about 80 trillion dollars globally.
Wait, let me ask
Which
you. Let
is
me ask you a question. You say
Mhm.
that it's not possible to hack into Bitcoin
Right.
because of the coding. So if I'm going to pay you with 5 Bitcoins, there is a code I can use to say this code represents 5 Bitcoins and I'm paying for so and so service. If you
Right.
receive Bitcoin, you can download the code and it belongs to you. So now my question is, those people that are able to hack into hospital data, hack into the movie like Hollywood data, you
Mhm.
know, um,
And hold them
the
for ransom.
technology they are using to hack into those things, will
Right.
they not be able to use the same technology to hack into this Bitcoin code and make away with your money?
No, they can't. It's impossible. And that's why this technology is so unique. Unfortunately, those who hack into hospital and ask for money for it to be demanded to be paid,
Hmm.
but guess what? They get paid in Bitcoin. They demand the money to be paid in Bitcoin because once they give you the code and that money goes to you, it goes through, it's done. You cannot retrieve that money. And unfortunately, you cannot trace that money because there's no um, biometrics, I'll use that word, attached to it. So only you and you alone have the capacity to know who has that code.
So
So
you
just like
cannot take
you
this
and I,
money to the bank and say, bank, I have like 10 Bitcoins here. I want you to change this 10 Bitcoins and give me like 10 million.
well, it's a form of exchange. It's they begin to treat it like commodity.
Mm-hmm.
But it was ideally a way of communication. But
Mm-hmm.
when communication gets to a point where it gets to data, that data becomes scarce, and that data, as scarce as it is, becomes treated like commodity. Just like gold was treated back in the days, but they found that there was no tangible way of finding a fair exchange to it, and that's why it's no longer money. And we have all the fiat currency. When I say fiat currency, the dollar, the pounds, and all that we have today. Now, cryptocurrency is another form of currency, unlike the fiat. Now, the difference is this. Unfortunately, every technology that comes out, criminals start to take advantage of it. They often, like somebody said, they are the beta testers of all technology that come out, and they use it often. But then, like with everything else, you can use for good, and you can also use for bad. But the hope is that we use it predominantly for good, and it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and this is the technology that will drive
So
our
there's going
future.
to be like you cannot like interchange one for the other. You will trade in Bitcoin with whoever accepts Bitcoin, and you will trade in fiat currency with whoever accepts fiat currency.
Well, yes, it's an alternative eventually, but again, because it's
Mm-hmm.
new, the regulations are what a lot of countries are fighting for. Regulate, this. The United States is still doing that until they find tangible ways of regulating it. Then
Okay.
they'll become open. For the first time in the history of this country, they have a tax code to
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, so that if you trade in Bitcoin, because people were going there to hide their money and all that, and some of
Mm-hmm.
them, were using it for nefarious activities, and they
Yeah.
make money out of it and find ways to convert it again into
Yeah.
fiat currency and make money.
Yeah.
So once you're able to correct that and find regulations about it, yes, you will be able to do that. Even India did the same not too long ago. There's an article that came out with that respect, and of course, Nigeria is beginning to do that. Yes, they have to do that because so that Nigeria do not become a dumping ground for nefarious activities or individuals who want to create havoc in our system.
But
And
Nigeria
that's
has
why.
just banned Bitcoin.
Sorry.
Nigeria has just banned Bitcoin, cryptocurrency.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, that they needed to do that. One, because a lot of people, again, like I said, often enough, people use it as a handmijab for crime
Yeah.
and to do some terrible things. But without control, without regulation, it becomes really difficult to do that. So Nigeria, like with every other country, has to find ways to regulate the Bitcoin, or not the word, the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
But again, like I said earlier, it's technology. They have to find ways to embrace it and find ways to regulate it so that you and I, who are decent uh, fair-minded,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful Nigerians who want to do good business and trade with other people in different parts
Will
of the
not be
world
taken
can
out.
do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they really have to find ways of regulating it, because one viewer has just made a comment that there's another one called Dogecoin. So we're going to have Bitcoins, Dogecoins, puppy coins, horse coins, any type of coins. So there definitely has
Well,
to be regulation in that.
it's funny, and that's why it's so important because the story of Dogecoin. I've forgotten the gentleman who created it not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
He created it out of a joke. He created it out of the joke, out of one of these movie character, from Dodge whatever. When he created it, he created it as a joke and to play with it. But unfortunately, or fortunately for him, the thing took on, and
Mm-hmm.
people began to deal with it. It went up to like 2 cents to 5 cents to 10 cents, and then dropped back again. And Elon Musk, I think 2 days ago, just tweeted
Yes.
about it. Because of that, it went up. Now, but then this is where, like they always say, the tire hit the road. The
Mm-hmm.
tire hits the road for us as a people. Because again, for those of you who know me, the essence is to empower Africa,
Mm-hmm.
empower the Black race, so that we can begin to find ways to dominate,
Mm-hmm.
as every other race is dominating. So that 5 to 10 years from now, we will not be begging that somebody will take their knee off our neck, and create a platform not just for this generation, but for generations to come,
Mm-hmm.
that will lead us. And that's why under this space, there's a what they call, I'll announce it now, ODUWA Coin.
Yes.
ODUWA Coin was created by a Nigerian. I know often enough people say, what can come out of Bethlehem? Is there any good that can come out of
I'm
Bethlehem?
sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Any good that can come out of Bethlehem? Yes,
Mm.
good can come out of Bethlehem. You all know that Nigerians are some of the most brilliant and talented individuals in the world across the globe, and we just need the fertile, festering environment for to develop what we're capable of. And
Mm-hmm.
this gentleman, who lives in Silicon Valley, created what we call the Udua blockchain solution.
Mm-hmm.
He spent millions of his money creating a blockchain, and out of that blockchain, for those who are out there who know what it is to create a blockchain, it
Mm-hmm.
takes time, it takes effort, it takes money. Even creating that, it takes the capacity to stay on it, to stay on focus, to make sure that it works. Like I said, it cannot be hacked, but he's put on a formidable group of individuals who would help run this. Now,
Mm-hmm.
he did that and then created out of it what they call Udua Coin. Now, Udua Coin, Udua means, it's a Benin word for the path to wealth. He said he created this so that you create a path to wealth for not just anybody, but particularly for those of African descent.
Yes.
But he wants Nigerians to be able to take charge of it. As you know, Nigerians are the second, after the US, who deal in Bitcoin in the world. So if Nigerians can come, see what a Nigerian has done, embrace it, we can create a black Bitcoin. Here in the United States, black people control $4.3 billion, and those of African descent, direct African descent, control about 1.3 billion. And if you see the African continent, I think it's, I'm not sure now, but 1.2 or 2.3 trillion dollars, GDP of Africa. You can imagine if we back that up into
Mm-hmm.
one platform, where we can have an exchange for one another, we'll begin to talk about money. So he created this so that the black race can back this up and have a means to create money and wealth, just like they've done for those who control Bitcoin.
Oh,
So, so
okay.
that's what is out there now. I like the fact that people are talking about Bitcoin. The ban on Bitcoin technology, cryptocurrency in Nigeria is about to it's a welcome idea. It's about
Mm-hmm.
that we begin to think, sit down, think and research about this. You'll be shocked. A lot of people don't know much about it. I didn't know till recently, but I had to research and do my work, not just for me, but for my for children and my generations coming.
Okay, so the way the world is today, the king of currencies is the dollar. in the fiat currency, like you described it. Okay, so most people, most businesses are dealing with the dollar. Some people, but the dollar and other countries' currencies are subject to changes in market value. Is that the same thing that would happen to the Bitcoin? Is the Bitcoin subject to market value? Because I think it's a wild swing, that something that started at 43 cents, something
Mhm.
that was at $1 is now suddenly somebody said
Right.
$40,000. Now, if it went out, escalated so seriously in such a short time, wouldn't the fall be serious and sudden as well?
Well, I mean, with everything, with for those who are pretty vast in economics,
Mm-hmm.
um, demand, scarcity creates demand.
Mm-hmm.
Once creating cash demand, demand goes high, prices go up, period. And that's the technicalities of life, and that's the technicalities of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
As humanity moves from bare humanity to deterrism, meaning the digital world, um, data is becoming the new currency, and dealing in data is what's going to drive everything else. And that's why having control over that data depends on the speed at which you receive that data and transmit that data. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why the whole big hula bula of US and China, when it came to the 5G, who will control it? Because whoever controls it controls that. Because they understand that data will become and is becoming the new currency. So when you talk about the Bitcoin, like I said, just like with the Udua Coin, there are only 21 million Bitcoins that are available. And once all that's been bought, then people begin to deal and trade in them. And then the demand went up. So more people want it. They want to trade in it. And the beauty of it is, like I said, it has a peer-to-peer um, trade value in the sense that you and I are talking right now. We're talking through Be Live, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you and I are going to talk in the future
Mm-hmm.
using blockchain technology, it's going to be peer to peer. There will be no transport in between. I get your code, you get my code. I'll talk to you directly, no intermediary. Period. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the beauty of it, and that's the thing that creates the value and the trust that why people are demanding for Bitcoin, and that's why the values goes up. But then again, as people sell, um, the price may come down, and as people ask for more, the price will go up. Now, these are subject to how what's going on in the fiat world. You see, as China is becoming a dominant factor in the world,
Yeah,
you know that not too long ago people were talking about how to make the US dollar not to become the dominant currency in the world.
that's not quite a problem. Yes.
So it's going to create a problem. So if it's not, then what will become the dominant currency in the world? What then will now be the form of exchange and trade in the world? As China begins to grow big, they'll begin to do that. You see what's happening with euro pulling away from euro now, UK pulling away from euro.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to affect the euro? And how's that going to affect the pound sterling and everything else that's coming around? So, as we begin to think about this, uh, the Nigerian government and those who are in that space needs to find ways to take leadership of that space and find solutions to problems that come out of it as we begin to sit down and watch the international space play about with all of this. Because otherwise, we should not be the grass that will suffer when elephants fight. We should begin to stand on our feet and fight when the time comes that we need to.
Okay. Now, I hope, I will be looking out and listening out for how I could um, successfully manage fiat currency and cryptocurrency, because I would appreciate a way to be able to convert one to the other whenever
Right.
I need to, For example, if I want to buy a home, I would like to be able to like use Bitcoin
Right.
to buy this home, and I would
Mhm.
like to be able to either change it to dollars or currency that is acceptable, or
Right.
even trade in bitcoins if
Right.
possible.
Right.
If,
You
yeah.
can imagine if you had like 100 Bitcoin now. So you just
Don't,
throw
don't
three or
remind me,
four.
because it brings tears to my eyes for refusing Bitcoin when it was given to me. It was like practically take this,
Well, but again, that's why we all missed out on this. We missed out on Bitcoin. Once again, we have the opportunity to create wealth with Odua.
Yeah.
And that's why, look, I cannot overemphasize this. I think the chance to create a black Bitcoin, a coin that's ours, is here with Odua. Look into it, review it, go buy. Um, if it
The last person who tried to
if it goes
create,
up like Bitcoin will, because it will go up, no doubt, because the technology is there. It's written
I'm
in
going
such
to
a
buy
way
a
that
little bit, keep it to the side.
it's done like that. So
I'm going to
no
buy a
doubt.
little bit and keep to the side and watch it grow, because I'm not going to miss out on this one too. But the last person that tried to create a unified coin for Africa, we know what happened to him. How do we know that this Odua coin will be allowed to stay? Because anything that comes up against or in competition with the dollar is going to find some serious backlash. How do we know that this Odua will be able to gain traction and survive?
Well, again, like I said, and I joked, what good can come out of Bethlehem, and that's the narrative that been put upon us
Mhm,
for centuries, and they've used every means necessary to do that, including religion,
mhm,
including mind games and everything else. But because we know better, we will do better.
mhm,
You using your platform, and everybody else use the platform to speak
mhm,
right on top of the mountain to tell our people, look, we need to change the narrative about us as Black people and as Africans. Yes, good things can come out of Africa, and it has. So it's new, but if you look at the trajectory um, of Udua Coin,
mhm,
again, it's not just based on somebody else's blockchain. It's based on its own blockchain. So this gentleman, Bright Nabulele, Bright, smart enough to create first the technology of blockchain, and then out of it he created the Bitcoin, the coin that's going to be the black Bitcoin. So
Something is
the
happening to your
world
audio.
of Africa would accept it.
Yeah.
As soon as we begin to accept it, it will grow
Mhm.
and the cost will grow. And then a lot more people begin to look into it and find ways where we adopt it and use it as a means of exchange, hopefully, or probably for Africa, so that when Africans begin to deal with people like China, Canada, whatever, now we'll use money we can trust because then they trust you that this is money is for real. If it's on a ledger, it's there. It's not
Yeah.
some fake a bank account that we put there that's ruining our names every day.
Yeah.
When we want to do trade and business with the world because they don't trust us when it comes to that. We don't even trust one another. But
Yes.
if I put something on a Dua coin or on a blockchain technology and say, look, it is here, you can trust, know it's there. So it's easy for you to trust and trade with me and understand that if I'm trading with somebody who's in China, it is true, it's legit, and it's direct. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll adopt it and we'll take it from there.
Yes. So I look forward to seeing Odua Coin gain traction. I'm going to share the link up here. And please, I want to keep in touch with you and with the originator of this Odua coin so we get more
No,
news. So we get more
I'll
news.
tell you this.
Yes.
My mission,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm sure some of you seen what I do and read what I write, the quotations that I put up, is to empower our people, empower
Yeah.
our race, empower Nigerians, empower Africans, the friends of Nigerians and Africa, and the Black race, so that we'll also begin to dominate. That's my message. So my
Mm-hmm.
message to put the message of Udua there and to say, you know what, this for once we have something we can rally around.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we rally around individuals who are brilliant, who are smart across the world. Yesterday on the Nigerian American Public Affairs platform, which I have been opportunity to lead at this time as its president, we brought onto the platform these two gentlemen, Brighton Abulele and Dele Akanda, who I call the genius of Dele Akanda. Look him up, Google him up,
Mm-hmm.
and see what he's done in the space of data management and crypto currency, where crypto data management,
Yeah.
where he created what they call a health ID, where that can help us fight COVID-19. But unfortunately, Nigeria has not seen it, hasn't adopted it. And I think anybody who's in the Nigerian government should look up Health ID and reach out to Dele Atenda and say, look, this is what we can use to help fight COVID-19, because COVID-19 is here to stay. Unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. He also created a comic series called The Metaye that he used to address issues and educate our people on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology to help change the narrative uh, of our people, just like they did with what do you call that movie, Black Panther. So there are geniuses out there, Nigerians and other Africans who are doing great things. So we must first identify them and celebrate them. Like I
Yeah.
always say, we as a people were not bereft of technology and intellect. All we just fail to do is identify them and celebrate them.
And create enabling environment for them to thrive back home instead of
Correct.
everybody coming out and doing it here. Okay, so now before I let you go, you're a doctor, okay, and the research on COVID has changed. We have learned so many new things on this virus. When it first came out, everybody was worried that 5G was somewhat linked to the COVID virus. Could you give us what the update is on the effect of 5G on the human? Remember, research has shown the effect of the cell phone on cells, the human cells, and people kind of extrapolated this to say that 5G could have devastating effects also on human cells. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know you're vast with your research update and updates on 5G.
Well, just like we talked earlier on, and I've been continued. I have been going around talking about COVID-19 and why we have to be informed. Information is power,
Yes.
but then what you do with that information is what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the power that we seek um, must be coordinated, especially in the African context, because power is most impactful when concentrated. So we must begin to identify those areas where those powers are and concentrate them. Now, the issue of 5G and COVID-19, that's just a fallacy, and it's all conspiracy theory because people do not understand. They don't understand. And I wrote something recently. People often fear what they do not understand or cannot comprehend or control. If you do that, so they find a narrative that will help them live with it, accept it, and even and interpret it. So and that's where conspiracy theories come about. So 5G creating what do you call it, COVID-19, that's all nonsense.
Okay.
Because look, before 5G came, we've had eras and periods and decades of viruses that live with us on a daily basis, uh, that interfere with our lives and help us move on as a species, as human beings. So we saw what happened in 1918 with the
Spanish
influenza
flu.
virus and all that, and they've been vast, epidemics that are taking place over those times. The viruses everywhere.
Yes.
The SARS one, the MERS, the H1N1, all those are viruses. It just got nothing to do with 5G. It has nothing to do with 5G.
Okay. All right. So the vaccination. I know you have taken your vaccination, and
Yes.
you have told me to go and take my vaccination.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see what happens to you.
Well, you're waiting to see if I grow feathers on my toes or what?
Okay, so I am, by February 15th, I have to take this vaccination. I've been jumping to the back of the line, back to the back of the line, but I have to take this vaccination by February 15th. Tell me about the vaccination and, explain to everybody who is listening why it is okay to take this vaccination. I'm going to speak with Dr. Stella Emmanuel, who is not an anti-vaccine person. She is all for vaccination, but she does have issues with this vaccine, some of these vaccinations, because some of them are DNA based, some of them are mRNA based. Well, this is kind of complicated for people listening, but the difference is that mRNA is made to make your body code for a piece of protein that is put in there, and it is coding for antibodies. You know, a print is put in there, not the real virus. A print is put in your system, and your system codes for antibodies to fight this virus when you're exposed to it. And the DNA virus vaccination is something else, okay, which you will explain to us. But why should we not fear this vaccination? Why is this vaccination not the mark of the beast and it's called Luciferus? Why is tell us about that, because we are religious people, we're superstitious people, but with knowledge, we're able to understand the process and then lend ourselves to progress in terms of protecting our health and protecting our lives. Let's talk about the vaccinations.
Right. I'll tell you this. I'll take it on two perspectives. One
Yeah.
on, the medical, and then the other one on the political perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on the medical one, I said earlier on, when I began talking to you, I said five things would affect how we interact with one another and deal with one another in our environment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Artificial intelligence, 5G, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and the fifth one was the mRNA technology. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the mRNA technology was actually first developed by Dr. Catalina Kirako, who's Hungarian, and she did this, stuff. And when she wrote about it, published it, they made mockery of her. As a matter of fact, she was actually not made, I think, a position at UPenn. And at one time, she even said she was demoted because of this technology when she went around talking about it. Just like some people think, talking about blockchain and cryptocurrency now is nonsense and all that. But then look at what the mRNA today has done. She has now become a huge personality global wise,
Yeah.
and people are beginning to reach out to her. And I'll tell you this: when she started it, she initially, in her humble and sweet mind, thought she wanted to use it to treat metabolic diseases, meaning things like diabetes, arthritis, and all that and
Okay.
all that. But guess what? It will still come to do those,
Mm-hmm.
which she had intended it to be. Now, but when COVID-19 came up, and we found out that people were dying, and there was no solution to this,
Mm-hmm.
and we needed a fast way to making, what do you call it, vaccines. They had to. Everyone was scrambling. First, we didn't know what it was. We needed to understand the disease properly,
Yeah.
and find solutions to it. And
Yeah.
again, great minds took charge of that space of medicine and science and vaccinology, and found a solution to this.
Yes.
So when she started her initial work, it was unstable. They found out, oh, the uridine component was the one that was unstable. They deleted it. It became stable. Then they found a way to add a component to it, which is um, the lipoprotein, the polymer that
Yeah.
make it stable enough to form it as a vaccine. And that technology was actually written in 1976 by a gentleman, one doctor, I think Livingston or so. And when he wrote his own then in 1976, he was ridiculed. They made fun of him. So over the time, just like you and I are speaking over this platform right now, the phone you had in 2000. It's not the kind of phone you hold in today. The
Mm-hmm.
phone has changed its dimension, its process, its speed, and everything else. So also the technology to create vaccine. I
Yeah.
mean, if what was happening before, what we had was not working, and you couldn't process it, speed and accuracy is efficiency. So they needed an efficient way to create vaccines that will work for everybody. An efficient way to create a vaccine that is absolutely safe, that will work. So mRNA technology became what it is. And that's what they found out. And they found out it's safe. And that's what they're using to fight this vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
this virus. I know a lot of people have a whole lot of conspiracy theory about it.
Yeah.
Um, Understanding that, again, what people do not understand or comprehend, they fear. So, yes, some of them, they may have somewhat legitimate reason to be afraid because they fear it and they don't understand it. But
Mm-hmm.
we're here as medical professionals to give that information out and why it is possible. The fear in the black community is tangible in the sense that we have a history of what has happened over time with the nefarious activities that was done using Black people for research and all that. But look,
Yes.
those are times gone. Things are different now, and uh, Black people are involved in this.
Mhm.
Black people are involved in this. They've been involved in technology to create these vaccines. I put together on the New African Broadcasting television studio. If you go onto NABN, you can see
Mhm.
the doctors who worked on the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine that I brought together, including the eminent Ambassador Sediki Way, who's
Mhm.
the Sierra Leone ambassador of Sierra Leone to the United States, and a few other community leaders where we talked about this for the Black community. It's out there, and it's safe. You should take it and to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this? And the other aspect, the political aspect of it, is this. Look, a lot of people who are of Caucasian extract are taking these vaccines. They're
Yes.
actually leaving some areas in their communities to Black neighborhoods who don't want to take those vaccines, and they're
Mhm.
taking it. And they're taking it, and down the road, what's going to happen? Look, I must say that I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. It's come to a point where if you do not have a vaccine, if you've not taken the vaccine, you cannot travel. They
Mhm.
begin to ask for vaccine certificates.
Mhm.
So you can imagine if you, as a Black person or person of color, haven't taken it, then you cannot travel. How would that impact economically your trade capacity, your ability to travel, your ability to go to school or attend conferences and all that? So these are things that are coming because you're afraid
Yeah.
of something you don't understand. Now,
Mhm.
on the long run, we don't want a situation where they begin to call it a Black man's disease because
Yeah.
in 3 to 5 years' time, who knows? When
Mhm.
everybody else is vaccinated and our people are not vaccinated, what's that going to happen? We'll continue to have Black people who are dying on unprecedented, unproportional level. It's nonsense. So it's time that we sit down um, and begin to address issues in our community. And at this point in time, I'll say this. Those of us, you included, Regina Askria, who's in the medical field, will use your platform, teach people about this vaccine, and tell them to go take the vaccine. So that
Okay.
one, it creates confidence, it creates trust, so
Yes.
that down the road we would not be in a tight corner that is going to come if we do not do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for explaining this to us because many of us, have been reluctant to get this vaccine. And as a doctor who has had COVID, who has treated COVID patients, and who has taken the vaccination, and you're out here still together, still making sense. That should instill confidence in the rest of us that it's okay to take this vaccination. Now, before we wrap up on this segment, what are your comments on the fact that the World Health Organization has refused to send vaccines to Nigeria, citing the fact that there is poor technology to preserve it. Remember, this needs sub-zero temperatures to be preserved. And if you send hundreds of thousands of vaccines over and they end up not being properly preserved because of poor power supply, they get wasted. What do you think of this and what would the alternative be?
Well, I'll tell you this. There's my blessed late father, father-in-law,
Mhm.
once said this: "He who fails to prepare should be prepared to fail." Period. Uh, and we have not prepared. I guess we're failing now. It's become really evident.
Mhm.
The virus has been out for over a year now, and they've been talking about the issue of the vaccines for a couple of months. I think it came out in November. So, and they told us what is required to maintain the vaccine, the cold chain required.
Yes.
And I think as brilliant Nigerians who are everywhere, and I suppose those who are in government, should have taken the proactive um, stand in creating cold chain that will help keep this, vaccine. Look, we as a people must understand how to play on the bigger space.
Yes.
The lackadaisical attitude that we carry often as individuals, and I say individuals, as Black people, of Nigerians or Africans, and we go out there, we want to take that same Lakadasika attitude and play on the international plane. These guys don't joke. They really do not joke. And it's things are seen in an objective form. And because they're seen in objective form, we tend to say, oh, they're hard and whatever. Because we as Africans, and I say that as Nigerians and Africans and as Black people, we make decisions based on emotions. We make decisions based on emotions, and it's totally
That's what.
nonsense. And
Yeah.
we continue to fail when we make decisions based on emotions. Look, on the international space, there are no emotions there. Black is black, white is white. I mean, there may be a slew of political influences, then you must begin to set up and play that same big game, period. So if the WHO is coming and say, look, I'm not going to send this to you, they have their reasons. And if you look at the reasons, are they tangible? Objectively, you and I, and everybody's watching as Nigerians, sit down, listen to it, look at it. Are they true? Are they objectable? Yes. Why would you give a vaccine to a place where you don't have the means to store in it, and the vaccines are lost when the whole rest of the world are looking for the same vaccine and they need it? So it doesn't make sense. So it's time that people in power of influence sit back and seek individuals with resources. And often enough, I say what? When I say resources, people who have the intellect, people who have the money, who have the time to put into it to find solutions that we have as a country. And I must call on those again, those in the diaspora. Look, don't sit down waiting for the government to settle all its problems and issues in Nigeria. They really cannot. They may not have the capacity. You do. We must do that. So those of us in the diaspora, we must organize. We must first organize among ourselves, find ways where we can contribute positively and find solutions to them, and then engage positively those who are back home on a fair term, not on a term of superiority. Oh, I come from abroad, I'm bigger than you as father. No, but to terms to understand the conscious play that's taking place in Nigeria and address those issues. So look, offer your help to our people, because those who are dying at home, they are your brothers and sisters as well. So if Nigeria do not have the capacity to create what do you call a cold chain reaction, and you're here in the US or you're in Germany or whatever, you think you have the solution, provide the solution. And often enough, you may find obstacles, but guess what? Nothing good comes easy. There will always be obstacles. So, but you have to find ways to navigate. As a doctor, when I tell my patients, they're like, "Oh, I ran out of my medication. I can't reach you." I said, "Listen, approach me like I owe you money. If I owe you money, you will come look for me irrespective. So if you tell me you can't go through past my front desk because my staff is blocking you, look, deal with them like I owe you money." And that's how we begin to look at Nigeria, especially those who are abroad and those who are Nigeria as well. We must become to look at that country that we owe them something, and we truly do, and so that we can find solutions to it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nelson. It's always amazing speaking with you. Always some kind of inspiration comes from it, some kind of solutions come from it. And I look forward to speaking with you more often on issues that will empower and raise us up as Africans. Okay? Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us.
Well, it's a pleasure. If I must go, I hope you guys know that knowledge is power. We must begin to organize so that we find ways to begin to dominate and know and keep abreast of the trend that's happening. Those 5 things I called earlier on for those who are joining late. One, artificial intelligence. Two, 5G technology. Three, blockchain technology. Four, cryptocurrency. And five, what do you call it? The mRNA technology. Those things are here to stay, and they're going to determine how we interact with one another and how we interact with our environment. So research, read into them. They're play YouTube videos. Look them up. It's possible. So that we also can begin to find ways to dominate. ODUWA Coin is out there. It's a means for us to come together, back something that one of us has created, because something good can truly come out of Bethlehem. It has come out of Africa. We can back this up so that you can begin to create wealth for yourself. The black Bitcoin is out there. Um, Back it up, create wealth for your generation and for generations to come. And the last one, vaccines do work. The mRNA technology or whatever technology that's been used to create this, it works. Go get your vaccine if you're capable of. Get it to secure yourself, protect those around you. It's important so that down the road it will not affect you negatively as an individual or your community or nation or as a race. Because the about it in the future, if we don't do this, will not be good. But then again, irrespective of what you do, find solutions to the problems that I'll say it this way: as individuals, right? Irrespective of what talent that you have or what space that you have, take leadership of that space and find solutions that come out of that space. So if you're a doctor, look, take leadership of that. If you're an engineer, software tech, an accountant, find solutions in that space and create solutions to them, because that's what everybody else have done. That have become great and mighty names, and learn to create a legacy for your children today and for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And 2023 is around the corner in Nigeria. Join a team and make your services available to your fatherland. Thank you so much, Dr. Aluya. Have a wonderful day. All right, everybody. Wasn't that an interesting conversation? I'm sure you learned a lot from that, just like I did. And from here, I will take my vaccination. But then again, I still have Dr. Stella Emmanuel. I would like to listen to her theory also. And hopefully this time we'll be able to get her in the studio to speak with us, okay? I'm going to be right back because I do have 2 more interviews to go. And, it's a busy time. We are all, swamped with different responsibilities. So when you have a day that you can talk to everybody, go ahead and talk to everybody. I have in the studio Mr. Atta Ikide. I want to talk with Atta about the security situation in Nigeria, okay? The security situation in Nigeria as regards the herdsmen. There's been attacks and counter-attacks, and only God knows where this is going to put us. So I'm going to switch off because this is almost an hour long, a little bit over an hour. I'll switch off and switch back on again. If you want to be a part of this conversation about the herdsmen and security in Nigeria, and then piggybacking on that, we get into profiling of Akwa Ibom state of Nigeria, please join me in the very next segment, okay? On this segment, I have to sign out and say good night, God bless, and see you on the next segment, all right? Bye-bye.